Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fatina Jo binti Muhammad Zamri.
Hi, my name is Nur Akila binti Nurisha.
Assalamualaikum and hi to our panel, Dr. Hidayana and Puan Nadia. This is our title of research, a survey on plastic bag usage, a case study among final year students of UiTM Seremban 3. We've been supervised by Puan Farha binti Hassan. Let's move on to research background.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm going to explain regarding the research background. So firstly, the plastic bag has been used entire and globally around the world without a limitation. So we can see the more population in a certain country will lead to the higher usage of plastic bags. And besides that, we can see that the plastic bags also used daily at the supermarket, a shopping mall, and even the Malaysian household use the plastic bag in order to keep their groceries. And however, little that they know, in order to decompose the plastic bags perfectly, it's going to have 10 to 20 years in order to the plastic bags going to decompose perfectly. And even it contains the toxic and chemicals, we can see it going to give an impact and bad impact towards the marine life if the marine life have eaten the plastic bags. Besides that, the human being also can be affected as we consume the proteins that come from marine life. By Rahman 2013, he said the agriculture also have been affected by the plastic pollution in a few aspects, and he said it become a threat to our food and also life as it contains chemicals. Moreover, other countries, including Malaysia, have already implemented the law or implement the awareness campaign. However, it doesn't really effective as there is few factors that leads to ineffective of the campaign. And besides that, Malaysia is at the first place among the other countries that have been consumed the plastic about 75.4 kilogram per capita, which is quite high in consuming plastic bags. Next is the problem statement of the research. So firstly, according to World Animal Protection 2017, the plastic contains toxic chemicals, which it can increase the chances of disease whenever the marine life eaten the plastic bags. And secondly, according to Lions 2019, Asia has been listed as a river full of plastic wastage, and the major polluter is from the China with the 76% mismanaged waste. We know that China is one of the countries that have a big or mega business that have producing various types of plastics items, plastic bags. However, China can't even manage the plastic waste properly. And third, according to Lions also 2019, Malaysia also the countries that most mismanage plastic waste. We are at the 8th rank with the 57% of mismanaged waste. And according to Wood 2018, there's a research that found that about 90% of ocean plastics originated from 10 rivers, 8 of it is from Asia. And lastly, by Kushbo 2019, the contributions of plastic wastage from Malaysia is about 0.94 tons of plastic wasted in 10 countries in Asia. Research objective and also the research questions. Research objective is one of the objectives that ensure that the researchers are in the right track. By referring to the objective, the researchers know what need to be conducted, what need to be followed in order to be in the right track. Firstly, research objective is to determine the level of intentions of plastic usage among the consumers, and secondly is to examine the relationship between the environmental behavior and attitudes on the level intentions of the plastic bag usage. And for the third objective is to examine the influence of lack education about plastic usage on the level intentions of the plastic bag usage. And lastly, the last objective is to examine the relationship between weak implementation of law on level intention to the plastic bag usage. And for the research questions, is the questions that is reflections toward the objective of the research. conceptual framework. Conceptual framework is to show the relationship between the independent variables and dependent variables. For the independent variables, firstly we have the environmental behavior and attitudes, and second we have the lack of educations about the plastic usage, and thirdly weak implementation of law, with an error towards the dependent variables, which is the level intentions of plastic bag usage. Next is independent variables and hypotheses. For the first independent variable, which is environmental behavior and attitudes. The second is lack education about usage of plastics, bags, and third is independent variable is weak implementations of law. For the hypotheses, this hypothesis is going to make the researchers easier in order to make elaborations in findings in chapter 4. And next is the research method that have been used within this study. Firstly, for the research design, the researchers choose quantitative approaches have been used for this research, and we provided questionnaires to the respondents of final year students in UiTM Seremban 3. Next is the unit of analysis. The unit of analysis is the study from students in UiTM Seremban 3, which is the final year students. And the specific respondents have been chosen is the key of fragment in providing the data clearly and the validity towards the research of this study. And third is the sample size. Okay, the random method to select students have been implemented for this research, and it results about 304 minor students have been participate, which is they are from FSPPP, FSKM, and FSR. They are from UiTM Seremban 3 that participate have been to be respondent for this research. And lastly, for the sampling technique, the researchers choose to use the simple random sampling under the probability sampling, where it involves every element that the population is going to have an even or an equal chances to be selected as a subject or respondents.
Continue with the next point, which is a data measurement. Structured questionnaire has been created by the researcher as the quantitative method has been selected in the research. Questionnaire provided by the researcher consists of a sequence of collection questions in gather the information and data by the respondent. In addition, researcher also provide the questionnaire in two languages, which is in Malay and English. Next point is a data collection. Questionnaire that has been distributed to the respondent consists of 5 sections, which is the section A consists of demographic information of respondent. Section B, environmental behavior and attitude. Section C is lack of educations about the usage of plastics. For the section D is a weak implementation of law, and the last section is a section E, which is intentions of the usage of the plastic bags. We move to the second point, which is a data analysis. The first objective is to determine the level intentions of the plastic usage among the student. Statistical technique that has been applied is a descriptive technique, which is mean and also standard deviations. The second technique that has been applied in the statistical technique is a Pearson correlation. Objective 2, to examine the relationship between the environmental behavior and attitude on the intention of the plastic usage. Objective 3, to examine the influence of the lack education about the plastic usage on intention to the usage of plastic bags. Objective 4 is to examine the relationship between the week of implementation of law on the intention of the plastic bag usage. Continue with hypothesis. Based on the finding of the research on the demographic, the highest gender respond to the questionnaire is from female with a frequency of 183 with a 60.2%. Meanwhile, for the age, the highest responder is 23 until 26 years old with the 282 frequency with 92.8%. For the current academic taking, Bachelor student is the highest with the 291 with the percentage of 95.7. Meanwhile, for the faculty, the highest faculty that respond to the questionnaire is from the FSPPP, which is frequency of 180 with the 59.2%. The last is a mutual status, which is the highest is from single, which is a frequency with 282 with 96.1%. Continue with the next slide, which is hypothesis testing. Before that, research objective is reflecting to the research questions. For the next objective, which is to determine the level intentions of plastic bag usage, which is DV, with the independent variable. So the analysis method that has been applied is a method descriptive, and the result which is IV1 with a 3.272, next IV2 is 4.054, IV3 is 4.315, and DV with 4.319. Meanwhile, for the hypothesis is not available. We continue with the second objective. So the analysis method that has been applied is a Pearson correlations. Based on the result, R value is 0.198. Meanwhile, for the P value is 0.01. It shows that there is significant and low relationship between effect of environmental behavior and attitude towards intentions of the plastic bag usage. Even though it shows that there is a low relationship on the second objective, based on the previous study from the Dilkis, Hoffman and others in 2019, shows that by attitude, we can motivate individual in the reductions of the plastic bag usage. Based on the hypothesis on the objective 2, alternate hypothesis is accepted and rejected on null hypothesis. We move to the third objective. So the method that has been applied is a Pearson correlations with the R value 0.315. Meanwhile, for the P value is 0.001. For the hypothesis, alternate hypotheses are accepted and rejected the null hypothesis. It shows that there is significant and medium relationship on the third objective. Lack education of the plastic usage will lead to the low awareness among the society. So education is important in order to minimize the usage of the plastic bag. The last objective, which is objective 4, the analysis method that has been applied is a Pearson correlations. Meanwhile, the result is R value 0.98 and P value is 0.001. The alternate hypotheses are accepted and rejected the null hypothesis. It shows that there is a medium significant relationship between the week of implementation of law on the intention of the plastic bag usage. So as we can see, if the implementation of law is weak, it will lead to the high consumption of plastic bags among the consumers. We move to the limitation. First limitation that having by the researchers is implementations of the data collection method. All the questionnaire has been distributed to the respondent. All are using the media platforms such as Google Form and also WhatsApp. It will lead to the lack of comfortability among the respondent in answering the questionnaire. Besides that, limitation occur when the size of respondent is limited, because the researcher is only gather a data from the final year student, which is from diploma and also degree student. Due to the data collected is by using an online method, it's quite limited for researcher to get a respondent, especially from other faculty such as FSR faculty and also from the diploma student. The second limitation is a lack of a previous study in terms of factor that leads to the intentions of plastic bag usage. Lack of previous study, especially on the literature data and also data about the plastic pollution, is very limited, especially on the literature on public attitude and behavior on the plastic bag usage is extremely limited according to the Ilkis Hoffman and others in 2019. We move to the next slide, which is recommendations. The first recommendations is advertising to the media platforms in increasing the awareness among the consumer. Media platform is the most effective and efficient method in spreading the informations and knowledge. By using this method, it may effective in spreading the environmental information and also knowledge that can increase the awareness and also knowledge among the students and also consumer. We move to the next recommendation, which is environmental educations in university curriculums. So lack of education will lead to low awareness among the students and also society. Understanding towards the environmental knowledge and education can give an effective effects and increase the awareness among the students by providing any programs or activities in order reducing the plastic bag usage among the students. For the last recommendations is strengthen the implementations of law. Usage of the plastic bag is overconsumption, especially in Malaysia due to the weak implementations of law. In order to improvise to strengthen the implementation of law, the authorities should create the new law that can influence consumer to think twice for the consumptions of the plastic bag. As a conclusion, the study discussed on the factors that lead to the intentions of the usage of plastic bag among the final year students in University of Technology Maras Seremban 3 has been successful aimed and conducted to the objective which has been mentioned on the chapter 1. In addition, the conceptual framework that has been discussed on the chapter 2, which is the factor that lead to the intentions of the plastic bag usage, we said that from the research study, it shows that there is a significant either low and medium between the factor that lead to the intentions of the plastic bag usage. Finally, from the respondent result, it shows that in individual behavior, high educations toward the usage of plastic bags and strengthen the implementations of law can helping the ecosystem to recover from the plastic pollutions and also reducing the usage of the plastic bag among the consumer.